I'm not gonna be doing this alone. I already have here with me.
Oluwatomi Owoborode. Good morning, Lagosians. Good morning, Owobolade.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm fine, actually. I mean, yesterday was the public holiday.
Yeah.
And, the roads were relatively empty until I got to the airport. So, I had to see my family member off at the airport. And I was wondering where everybody was going. To me, that place was filled to the brim. Where are you all going? That was the question. That was a question that kept on popping up in my mind. And then, I just randomly engaged somebody in a conversation, and, the person was waiting for, their family members to come outside. So, this thing where you send in, so when you get to the airport, especially when it's an international travel and all of that, they don't let all the family members in. So they'll just let possibly one or two persons because of the luggages this person has, and also the rest of the family members, especially if it's like the whole battalion that followed them to the airport to be outside. Sure you get. So I was just randomly conversing with that person outside, and then I was like, okay, I was going on blah, 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 and stuff like that. And then the person was like, we don't know if there's going to be a strike tomorrow or next tomorrow or something, but we don't want to get stranded, so we have to leave and all of that. And and I was like, oh, okay, is that why there are a lot of people? He said, no, some persons just want to travel, they want to jackpot. Some persons said summer is over, they want to go back to where they traveled from. Some persons are traveling for the first time, they want to leave outside Nigeria. You need to see the things that people are packing out. It's
like they're never coming back.
I am telling you, some person like those. And then you see your family members crying, sad, hugging your family members. I mean, it's an interesting thing to see, and you just keep saying, oh, there's no money, there's no this. For me, traveling out of the country is not cheap.
It is not. And with this inflation,
it is not even cheap. And some persons don't even mind the fact that they would have to stop over at a certain country. There's a this, there's a that. They don't mind. They don't mind. Like some persons have even sold almost everything that they have in the country because they have no hopes of coming back to this place. And it just begs the question, what is going on? What is going on? We're going to be having this conversation and more on the newspaper review this morning. This is where we give in-depth analysis of the dailies. We have the Punch newspaper, we have the Vanguard newspaper, we have the Guardian, we have the Daily Trust. Every headline we are going to open up and discuss. And of course, later on we would connect with our analyst just to have this conversation this morning. All right, just yesterday we were having the conversation of the increment in monthly salaries for workers, and we're asking that question that, okay, so doesn't it concern other members of the society? Does it have to be workers alone? There was that question that, okay, so how about, this was just an in-house joke where we're like, how about people that work in private sectors? Are we also not going to get 35,000 naira increment and whatnot? And there was that, is this going to be sustainable? Are we going to continue to live like this? Will the Labour Congress actually go on strike, or they're going to suspend the strike as usual? There was just so many questions that we asked yesterday, and I think we have our answer. Will the Labour Congress go on strike today? No, they will not. Will they go on strike tomorrow? No, they will not. But they have given, they've suspended the strike for 30 days. Just so we see what the federal government is going to do. If the analysts, almost all the analysts said they've just been making promises to us, promises and promises. Is this true? We don't know. we hope it's not true. We hope it's not just empty promises. Honestly, I have so much faith and trust. I'm telling you, like, I'm part of those people that have so much faith and trust in the new administration that, you know what, let's just see what happens. Like, I just believe, I don't care whomever it is that is there. I just want, like, you know, a level of change. I really, really do want it. But anyways, let's get into the Punch newspaper this morning, and it says 6-month allowance, federal government to spend 315 billion naira, labor suspend strike for 30 days. 6-month allowance, federal government to spend 315 billion naira, labor suspend strike for 30 days. Labor demands wage award for states, local government, and private sector workers. Yes, please. How is it going to extend to all of us? 30, I mean, 35,000 is not a lot of money, but it's still a lot of money. If that enters my account, I know what I want to use it to do. Do you understand? So, but yeah, because that conversation we're having yesterday was like, 10% or less are the people that you guys are talking about. Are you sure this is going to extend to the market woman? Is this going to extend to people that are in the society? Is it going to extend to people that are trying to pay their children's school fees and they don't even know where their daily bread is going to come from? It's going to extend to the carpenter, the bricklayer, the molder, the tailor on the street. Is it going to extend to everybody, or is it just going to be like some sect? And how is it going to extend to them? What is the measures that we're going to use in extending this to them? You know, all of those conversations we had yesterday. But anyways, the writer also states 1.5 million federal workers to benefit from government's provisional wage award. 1.5 million federal workers to benefit from government's provisional wage award. Moving on from that one, we have just above the nameplates, marketers disagree with Tinubu tax advisor on refinery sale. Marketers disagree with Tinubu tax advisor on refinery sales. Bribery, UK court restricts Desiani's movement. EFCC begins extradition. UK court restricts Desiani's movement. EFCC begins extradition. Chicago Varsity releases Tinubu's record to Atiku. Chicago Varsity releases Tinubu's record to Atiku. You find that on page 8 of the Punch. There's this one that says 33 fear killed in illegal Rivers refinery explosion. 33 fear killed in illegal Rivers refinery explosion. Bribe taking policemen return to Lagos Road, extort 25,000 naira from driver. Bribe taking policemen return to Lagos Road, extorts 25,000 naira from driver. Taj Bank grows gross earnings to 227 billion naira. Taj Bank grows gross earnings to 227 billion naira. You'd find this on page 28 now. Is it 28 or 29? 28, yeah. Found this on page 28 of the Punch newspaper. But the major headline is federal government to spend 315 billion naira. Labor suspends strike for 30 days. I want to see if, the Guardian also has that story, because I know for free that yesterday this conversation with Labour was a major headline, and I cannot wait to see if other newspapers have that one. And that's all on the Punch newspaper this morning.
Okay, so you can call us to react to any of the stories on 0700-1021-1021, or you can send us a WhatsApp message or a text message on 0907-224-5018. I have here with me the Guardian newspaper, and the major story in the front page of the Guardian newspaper: Labour accepts federal government's proposals, suspends strike for 30 days. Labour accepts federal government proposals, suspends strike for 30 days. Page 6. HND, much ado about conversion, 650,000 naira top-up program. Much ado about conversion, 650,000 naira top-up program. Page 4 has the story food, fair prices, food. Fair prices spike puts more Nigerians under pressure. Food. Fair prices spike puts more Nigerians under pressure. Page 8 has the story. Tribunal sacks Sule, declares Umbugadu winner of Nasarawa poll. Tribunal sacks Sule, declares Umbugadu winner of Nasarawa state. Page 9 has the full story. Cooking gas scarcity looms as price hits 1,000 naira per kg. Cooking gas scarcity looms as price hits 1,000 naira per kg. Page 7. I was even thinking cooking gas will reduce or stuff like that. 1,000 naira per kg. Please, do you want us to start using firewood back or start? Because
who is going to use the look at the way you said firewood back? Firewood back. Hey, firewood back. Firewood.
We'll go to the Stone Age.
Firewood. Like, please, you didn't even say maybe like stove or some firewood. Why, Tommy? That just went way back. Like, I mean, I know that some persons actually cook with firewood, but the last time, so for me, the last time I saw firewood cooking was very recently, actually, but it was for a big event. Like they intentionally wanted to cook that jollof rice with firewood, because right now for events people use gas. They just use all this industrial gas and then they use very big burners. So the people do that now, sometimes twin burners and stuff like that. But this person really wanted to make jollof rice with firewood. So all these big pots, Yoruba people call it adogon. Yes, so that is very gigantic pots and all of that, and then they make sure that the smoke, because they wanted to make like smoky jollof rice or something like that. Do you understand? So majorly I mean, yes, just yesterday we're having that conversation with our analysts, and they were talking about the fact that gas is looking like it's going to increase. I mean, I think even on record that we're having that conversation about it, that at some point it's going to increase. Now looking at it in the news, at 1,000 naira per kg is a lot. So you want to buy 12 kg, that's 12k. Something that used to be like, how much is it? 6 or 7,000 also. And then it increases by the number. So at the end of the day, you're buying food stuff, it is expensive. You're going to cook it, is it expensive? If you live in an environment that has no water, it is expensive to buy. If you live in an environment where you have to transport yourself to go to the market, it is expensive, because fuel price is higher than what it used to be. You bought something 500 naira 2 weeks ago, you go back to the market, it has increased. It's just not interesting right now. It's not very easy for an average person. So I mean, I get why there is a threat for strike. I get why there is a clamor to increase monthly wage or monthly bills. I get it because life is getting quite tough.
It is
for persons. I get why people are running out of the country. Like, look. Anyways, let's just go on with the
headline. Moving on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, EFCC obtains arrest warrant on Dezani begins extradition plan. EFCC obtains arrest warrant on Dezani, begins extradition plan. Page 3 has the full story. Above the nameplate of the Guardian newspaper, it says at the platform, Lumumba Oyedele, others underscore how to develop Nigeria. At the platform, Lumumba Oyedele, others underscore how to develop Nigeria. Page 3 has that story. And lastly, non-interest banking, Taj Bank leads in Tier 1 capital PBT. Non-interest banking, Taj Bank leads in Tier 1 capital PBT. And that's all on the front page of the Guardian newspaper.
Now the phone lines are open. You can call us 0700 1021 1021 0700 1021 1021 to share with us what you think about some of the stories that we have taken this morning. And If you don't want to call, you can send a WhatsApp message on 0907 224 5018. 0907 224 5018. On the Vanguard newspaper this morning, still the major headline: Federal government, Labour reach truce, nationwide strike suspended. Federal government, Labour reach truce, nationwide strike suspended. Now, the writer states organized labor suspends nationwide strike, billed to start today for 1 month. Labour, federal government sign MOU on issues agreed on provisional 35,000 naira wage award for workers secured. Organized labor suspends nationwide strike, billed to start today for 1 month. Labour, federal government signed MOU on issues agreed on provisional 35,000 naira wage award for workers secured. I really cannot wait to see these promises fulfilled to workers in different states in the country. All right, moving on, just above the nameplate, Tribunal sacks Nasarawa governor in split decision. Tribunal sacks Nasarawa governor in split decision. Palliatives, government making announcements with limited thinking. This was stated by Peter Obi. Palliatives, government making announcements with limited thinking. Peter Obi stated this one. Desiani gets £70,000. £70,000 bail in alleged £100,000 bribery trial. You see, when I say individuals, having all this kind of money, you'd say £70,000 is
a lot.
Let's just move on. Desiani gets £70,000 bail in alleged £100,000 bribery trial. Federal government draws roadmap to make Nigeria total digital economy. Okay, it's about time. It's just that I'm scared. Hey, it's about time that we actually made the country total digital. I remember when the country was supposed to be total digital, especially when we're having cash crunch in February. Unfortunately, a lot of things were not working, and you will hear banks make, or maybe like people make statements like, well, the engineers that you're supposed to have traveled outside the country, and around that period was when a lot of people were leaving the country, like leaving institutions and leaving some of these standard institutions stranded. So a lot of things were not working. A lot of bank apps were not working. A lot were not working. So now that the federal government is drawing a roadmap to make Nigeria a total digital economy, I am hoping that they've looked at the downsides. I am hoping that they're going to employ, good hands, young good hands that understands the system and can run it. At the moment, there are some government parastatals I've been to. Like, for instance, I followed a friend to get, NIN, and we were stressed. We're very stressed when we went there. We're really stressed because, the network was not networking. The everything wasn't working the way it was supposed to be. So we had to come back twice. And you could see the frustration on the person that was working in it, and then they were trying to beg us and say, we're sorry, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. They couldn't do a lot that particular day. That is money being lost, because these things are paid for. It's supposed to generate some form of revenue. So I remember when that news, there was that headline that said that NIMC will be moved into, I think, Ministry of, I can't remember what ministry it is right now, but I think it was under Ministry of Interior or something like it was. It's a Ministry of Communications or something like that. I'll check and just to get it. But and then when the minister was having that conversation, he said that he would make sure that there will be checks and balances on this thing. There will be checks and balances. Everything will now be better. It will be clearer. It'll be nicer. And ahead. Okay, so now the National Identity Management Commission was under the Ministry of Digital Economy until last month when it was moved into Ministry of Interior. Yes, that's correct. Ministry. It was not. So the federal government announced that it was moved into Ministry of Interior and all. And these are some of the things that causes stress on individuals, causes stress on Nigerians and all of that. So it'd be nice that it's a total digital economy. I don't always want to move around with cash. I don't always want to go to places and feel like, but the only reason why you are moving around with cash at the moment is you are afraid that your ATMs will not work. You're afraid that your apps will not work. Some of these things happen at the same time. The cash crunch was a great example. Nothing was working. Your USSD was not working. Your app was not opening. You couldn't transfer money. It was no use because some places did not even accept money transfer. They're like, and then some even places would be like, I will not get it until 5 days. It happened to me. Like, I was trying to buy fuel into my car and I tried transferring, it did not go, so I had to use my ATM. It went, the money left my account, but the money did not get to where it was supposed to get to.
Wow.
And I'd already bought
So how did you solve
so
it?
I had to go out, and the only reason why they even sold the fuel for me is because they know me as a customer. So the guy was already selling the fuel. I said, don't worry, I'll get the money from you and stuff like that. So I had to go and find how to pay, because they know you does not mean that they want to sell their fuel for free. How do you say that to your manager? So I had to pack and go and start looking for where to get cash. Luckily there was this POS people, and at that time it was expensive. POS at that time was very expensive. Oh my days, they were kings. They were extort. In fact, I don't even want to get into that conversation and all of that. So if all of these things can be sorted, if all of these things that we've mentioned can be looked into, if we can have very smooth digital economy, I honestly don't see why not. It is going to be embraced with open. I will embrace with open arms, because I don't find it safe to always hold cash and all of those things. I don't find it safe at all.
Not safe.
Anyways, moving just beneath the major headline: Africa won't rise by prayer and fasting. This was stated by Professor Lumumba at the platform. This was where he made that comment. Embracing effective and strategic leadership, paths to Nigeria's progress. You find that on page 14 if you're interested. 35 persons burned to death at Rivers illegal oil refining site. Wow. Ooh, that's really a sad one. It's really, really a sad one.
And the fact that we're always warning people, the government is always warning people that do not go through illegal processes of you mining fuel and all. Is very dangerous. But Nigerians they don't take heed of that. They see that once I've gotten it, once someone has done it and person is saved, that what is there, if I just saying for us not to just take our own part or our own share of the fuel, but it's for your own safety, it's for your own good. So please stay away from illegal mining. It is very, very dangerous. Like, very dangerous. Open fuel and you're mining it illegally. That's to show that you're not caring for yourself. You don't care for yourself, rather. You don't care for your life and for others around you. 35 people.
I actually want to get into that story. I want to know what happened. And then it states it was gathered that fire broke out at the illegal oil refining site on Sunday night, and all the people, numbering over 45, were affected. A source of the community said the victims had gone to trade on the petroleum products while the fire started at the refining site consumed them. Wow. He noted that people from Isiokpo Kingdom in Ikwere local government area of the state, Iba and Odoha in Emoha local governments were affected. More than 40 people were there at the site. They were scooping and bagging crude oil when the place caught fire. The fire came from a refining site that is close to the point they were bagging the crude. Many Isiokpo and Odoa people and Iba people were there. 7 of the people died inside the pits where they were scooping the crude. About 10 were severely burnt in the pit. About 30 people died at the site, while over 15 were rushed to hospital. Then I heard that 3 of them had died while being rushed to the hospital. That's such a sad one. I mean, and according to reports, the police public relations officer of the state command said they would get back on that particular story. Anyways, please, I mean, and this story has made headlines on different dailies this morning. So just like Tommy has said, refining sites, all bungary, whatever, just don't go there. it's not good for you. But of course, because some people have done it and gotten away with it, they always feel like they can always go back. And sometimes some people have seen it on TV and all of that. Like, is it not just to bring keg? It's not just to scoop something. So these guys went to refining sites. I mean, yes, there's oil in their area and all of that, but it is scary. It is very scary. Now, 35 persons have lost their lives. We can blame it on the state of the country, Tommy. We can blame it on that. We can say that it's because, the country is this and that. But no.
Okay.
We shouldn't.
Yeah.
We shouldn't. Like, I mean, it can be easy to say that, some persons can say that, oh, okay, is it not because, there's no job, there's no food, there's no this and that. It's very easy for us to do that. But there's no job, there's no food, there's no what's it called now. Your life to complain is better than you dead.
Exactly. You are
doing something illegal. You are alive to actually maybe hustle for yourself and all of that. But at the moment, you have lost your life doing something that is illegal. That's number one. Secondly, something that is very dangerous. And now your family are going to be in some form of deep states of mourning and sadness. Please, let's not just go to all this. There's illegal things are just illegal for a reason. Moving on, violence, impunity, greed, selfishness won't save Nigeria. This was stated by Anglican bishops. Violence, impunity, greed, selfishness won't save Nigeria. 8 killed, 5 injured in Plateau community. 8 killed, 5 injured in Plateau community. Adibe states this one and says, I feel that the nature of our politics, in which elections are conducted every 4 years, exacerbates the crisis in our nation building process. I feel that the nature of our politics, in which elections are conducted every 4 years, exacerbates the crisis in our nation building process. International friendlies, this one is in the world of sports. Omero Iwobi Osayi Emmanuel Murphy back to Super Eagles. International friendlies, Omero Iwobi Osayi Samuel Murphy back to Super Eagles. If you are a lover of sports, you find that on page 31 of the Vanguard newspaper. I can see pictures of officials. I can see pictures of government officials and labor leaders as they meet on strike. They're right there on the front page of The Guardian. And of course, Minister of Labor and Employment, Simon Lalong, is there. Femi Gbajabiamila is there. That's the Chief of Staff to the President of Nigeria. The NLC President Joe Ajero is also there in that picture, and others meeting between the federal government team and labor leaders in Abuja yesterday just to finalize the fact that the strike will be suspended in the next 30 days and the wages have been approved. And that is all that we'll take on the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the other papers that we have. Do not go anywhere. This is a newspaper review on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Attention broadcasters, independent producers, and content streamers. This is your chance to buy or sell quality content. At Africast 2023, the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, will be launching the very first ever Nigerian TV and film content hub. Join us from the 24th to the 26th of October at the Marriott Hotel Ikeja, Lagos, and be part of a game-changing experience. Content Hub is your destination for content acquisitions, aggregation, licensing, and distribution of both local and international programs across for broadcasters in Nigeria. For more inquiries, visit www.africast.com.ng. Content Hub, your easy and affordable access to quality and affordable content. Don't miss out. The Africast Content Hub, brought to you by the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, in collaboration with NIFS.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Welcome back. This is still the newspaper review on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. We have been taking deep dives into the front pages of the Guardian newspaper, the Punch newspaper, and the Vanguard newspaper. My name is Omobolade. I am not doing it alone. I have Tommy here with me in the studio, and we're going to be connecting with our analyst very, very soon. However, let me get into the Daily Trust very quickly. Labour suspends planned strike for 30 days. I told you that one is a major story, and we're saying this because, a lot of people are not very happy about this. Some persons are, some persons are not. But anyways, we have our guests in the studio this morning on the line. Good morning, sir. We have Dr. Adedayo Kayode with us. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing, sir?
In fact.
Happy new month, happy independence, happy October, happy everything.
Yes, happy everything is expected except happy independence. Because we have independence without freedom.
In fact, yours is a different variation. Was it not yesterday somebody was saying happy dependent independence? This is a new one.
Happy? Yes. We have independence without freedom. And that's the case.
So are you saying we're in shackles, we're in chains?
Because when you're talking of independence, it has to do with a country or a society controlling its currency, controlling its resources, controlling its foreign affairs, controlling its military, controlling its international relations and all that. While freedom has to do with the people living as an independent people who should be able to live accordingly within their independent states. And to live accordingly, it means that there must be rule of law. And when there is rule of law, then there must be constitutional sanctity, whereby any leadership that err will have to be dealt with according to the dictates of that constitution. That is to say, in an independent state, all animals must be equal. Are we equal in Nigeria?
I was going to say, is this an animal farm situation? I was just going to ask you, like, is this an animal farm situation?
when you talk of animal farm, George Orwell, the author of that book, was using that as a kind of societal expression of prevailing circumstances then, and of which till today is still relevant in Nigeria. You will soon see, I'm trying to write an article now, whither, oh Nigeria, encumbering the emergence of Africa as the next captain of the world. And that is the truth. The words of Nelson Mandela is still there, fresh in the memories of those that follows international politics, whereby he says that the whole world is waiting for Nigeria to get its acts together so that Africa can be where it's supposed to be within the committee of continents in the whole world. It's Nigeria doing within its region of West Africa what Egypt and Morocco, what they are doing in North Africa, what South Africa and Zimbabwe is doing within that area, what Ethiopia and Kenya is also doing within their region. Nigeria is an antithetical of such activities in such regions. So, where is the freedom?
You have asked a very, very deep question this morning, but let's get into let's get into one of the major stories. Unfortunately, you'll just be able to take one, and in fact, if it is, it is on all the newspapers. In fact, that is the major headline this morning.
Media is a dog with that.
It is everywhere because
Remember I told you the other day that I don't believe in NLC when we're discussing
you
this.
You mentioned
last week, same Tuesday.
It was Tuesday last week. Yes.
Whereby I said, let us see how it plays out. After reading the whole communique signed by NLC and the government, there are a lot of lacunas there. A lot of lacunas there. Number one, you are saying you are giving 35,000 naira as from September to federal government workers. How about people like you? Are you not affected?
In fact, that was one of the first things we mentioned this morning. That what happens to us?
How about somebody like me, a retiree businessman? All right. What happens to Iyabiliki that sells ata in the market? What happens to Baba Dauda, who is a organizer? All right, let's move further. You are saying you are removing VAT from diesel. How effective is your control on the marketers?
Yes.
Because the marketer responded in one of the papers today that removal of VAT does not reduce the price
of diesel.
Of diesel.
So
all right, that's 2-3. The 35,000 you are giving, to what extent will it cushion the effect of subsidy removal? And the whole thing we are facing now, to what extent will it remove it? Will it remove those subsidies? Again, when you also move further at those things, you say, yes, you are buying buses, you are doing this and all that.
Yeah.
How long will it take you to buy? Because you are saying you will. Why haven't you done all this even before the sudden removal of that subsidy? Why haven't you? Then when you also look at all those people that signed the communique on behalf of federal government, where is the secretary to the federal government there? Because before you know it now, you remember what happened during the negotiations of labor with ASU.
Yeah.
In the last administration.
Yes.
Federal government came back and said that, listen, this is Gigi signing it, and this is and that. Later they changed the committee. So we should have, labor should have asked for strong people in government, like secretary to the federal government, the vice president, the minister of finance, to be part of the signatory of that. You know, so these are issues. These are the lacunas that are there, and it's so unfortunate that the labor of today are so much moved down rather than improving on the legacies left behind by Pa Umodu, Baba Sumono, Bafiao, and a few of them.
I have a question, and it really bothers me now that you're mentioning all of this, and you know the promises have already been made. It now sounds, I mean, with this conversation that we're having now, it sounds like it's just going to be promises as it has always been. Because I mean, with this kind of news that the strike has been suspended for the next 30 days just to see what the federal government is going to do, 35,000 naira will be paid to workers. Okay, now we know that it's just a section. In fact, it's less than 10% of persons that would get this amount. But would they even get this amount? Because now, I mean, it is scary. Like, because it can be, this news can be a little bit of place that, okay, at least, okay, we're not getting it. 10% are going to get it. Maybe their lives will be better. Maybe something will be their expenses will be cushioned, because things are not easy at the moment in the market or anywhere. Like, it's not even looking interesting at all. So just maybe. But if these promises are just promises, then it means that we're just going to be moving in circles and circles. And
now the question is, I'm hearing you.
And that is worrisome. You were about to say something.
Yes, it is worrisome, because even when you look at it, these monies, where are they going to be coming from?
You know, the Punch newspaper said something about where is that federal government to spend 315 billion naira. That really made my heart skip a bit. So where is that money coming from?
Now that is to tell you that some people are lying to Nigerians. You see, I will take you back a bit. The National Assembly confirmed that at 190 naira per liter, NNPC was making 100 naira profit. Number one, where is that profit? Now, with an increase again from 190 to 580 now, that is a difference of over
300 naira. Yes.
350 naira. So that excess since, I think May, right? May.
Yes, May 29th.
May.
Yeah.
Yes, it's May. June, July, August, September, for 4 months. Where are those monies? Who has been keeping them? Where is the record for that money? That is 2. 3. I explained the other time that with the policy of DSDP of NNPC, there shouldn't have been anything like subsidy. Where are all these monies? Who are keeping them? In whose account? In whose pocket? Aside, even within this short period of 4 months, we have been hearing a lot of allegations as regards people dipping their hands into our Commonwealth.
Yes.
Yes, before you know it now, they will tell you they are going to borrow some money from somewhere to deal with all of this. And meanwhile, these monies have been going into private pockets.
Mm-hmm.
If we put together all the money we have been borrowing since all these days and probably invested them appropriately and accordingly, honestly, you and I will not be sobbing the way we are sobbing today.
We I have another question, but I don't even have time for it. And I mean, I'll just mention it, just passing.
Let's go and borrow time. Let's go and borrow time from you.
I wish.
The way they are borrowing money.
That's a very good one. It was just this one was on the Vanguard newspaper, where but that really got my attention. Where the federal government draws roadmap to make Nigeria total digital economy. In 2 sentences, do you think this
Nigeria
is even Nigeria draws roadmap to make Nigeria a total digital economy? The federal government is drawing the roadmap to that one. In 2 sentences, do you think it is possible?
What roadmap are they drawing? But when you are talking of digital economy, it has to do with how do I put it now? How do they put this thing? Technology.
Yes.
It has to do with technology. And when you're talking of technology, you have to talk about your satellite in the orbit to be able to keep and extract data all of the time.
Yes.
Now, where is our satellite in the orbit? Despite all the monies that federal government have been allocating to Niger Comsat, where is even Niger Comsat? Where is even Niger? What are the activities in recent times of Niger Comsat in ensuring this? In their roadmap, their roadmap, what role is being given to Niger Comsat? Because there is nothing you can do as regards digitalization without making reference to Niger Comsat, who is the custodian of our supposed satellites in the orbit that has always been falling down to affect other countries' satellites.
Yeah.
So, what role is Niger Comsat playing there? So that is how to know whether you have a willing leader. A willing. Because when there is a will, there will always be a way.
Yes.
And a willing leader is different from somebody who doesn't have that will. The person that doesn't have that will only be parabolating and then be rolling like the rolling stone that gathers no moss. The rolling stone that gathers no moss. And that is the situation we find ourselves in our nation, in our so-called independent nation today.
We're going to say thank you so much for joining us this morning, sir. Do have yourself a fantastic day.
I wish you the same.
All right. This is how we put a pause into the conversation this morning. We will definitely continue tomorrow on the newspaper review. But don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at High Impact 102.1 FM. My name is Omobolade Oladipo. The Morning Impact Show continues.
And my name is Oluwatomi Owoborode.